Hi, I'm Seema Bhansali, Director of Corporate Affairs here at Henry Schein, and welcome to Schein Chats. I'm here with Dr. Mina Kim at the Greater New York Dental Meeting, and we just came back from the Women's Leadership Conference for Dentists called Roadmap to Success. Dr. Kim, thank you for joining us on Schein Chats. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Seema, for having me here. My name is Dr. Mina Kim. I'm the dentist owner of Bryant Park Dental Associates. I am also the treasurer of New York County Dental Society, and I'm also on the Diversity and Inclusion Committee of the American Dental Association. My partner, Lois Jackson, and I created this Greater New York Dental Meeting Women's Dentist Leadership Conference.
That's wonderful. So tell me what motivated you to create this. It was a big undertaking. I know it took a lot of time. Why did you put so much effort into this meeting?
Well, we thought this was really important. This is the first Women's Dentist Leadership Conference of its kind. And the reason we created it is there's already women dentist leaders, but we need to really empower them and give them the tools they need to excel. As women dentists, we're still marginalized many times.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, even at this meeting, I had a very bad experience.
Yeah, tell me about it a little bit.
Oh, I went to go get a bag to carry all my swag, and the vendor asked me, "Oh, are you a dentist?" And when I said I was, she kind of didn't believe me and asked to see my badge. And as a fellow woman, I was, really disappointed to see that happen.
Sure. And I think we still face some bias when it comes to that, and it can be a real challenge, particularly since 50% of the graduating class is female, or maybe even more, of graduating dental schools. So tell me a little bit about what you might have learned during the meeting about leadership, about handling bias. What are some of the key takeaways that you got from the conference?
I think one of the things that's really important is that we need to have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And one cute quote I've heard is, if you don't have a seat at the table, you're for dinner. You're for dinner, basically.
Yeah.
And to me, what that means is we have to be in the boardroom. And not only do we have to be in the boardroom, we have to make our voice heard.
Yeah.
We are there for a purpose, and we need to make sure that our needs are met.
Yeah, and that can be really challenging, right? In a kind of male-dominated space, it can be hard to have your voice heard. And so one of the things that really, a big theme that came out of yesterday was mentorship.
Definitely.
And how mentors can really help you get your voice heard and help you take risks. Talk to me a little bit about what you heard yesterday about mentorship.
Mentorship was, I think, almost every one of the exceptional speakers we had mentioned mentorship at some point. It is just so important to have that support. Mentors, they advise you, they help bring opportunities to you, and like you say, it makes it much easier to take risks. I'd like to take that a step further. Sometimes you're lucky enough to find a mentor who becomes your sponsor, and a sponsor is really someone who advocates on your behalf. And I'm so fortunate I found Dr. Lois Jackson, who has really been a sponsor. She's really at the top of her field. This Women's Dentist Leadership Conference was actually her brainchild.
Yeah.
And we've worked together on many, many occasions, and she brought me in with her to create this conference. And it's just created a lot of opportunities for me.
That's wonderful. She was incredible yesterday in helping navigate, as were you. And I remember Congresswoman Yvette Clarke spoke about mentorship in her life and sponsorship in her life and helping her get to elected roles. Well, one of the key things that was really mentioned was sort of taking the risk and getting involved in organized dentistry. So I know you're involved in organized dentistry. Tell me why that's important to you as a female leader to have that voice.
Oh, definitely. As you mentioned, if you look at the dental schools now, about 50% or more are women now. So it's very important that in organized dentistry, that our numbers and leadership reflect what's in the school, so we can best reflect the interests of the dentists to come. And a big part of organized dentistry for me is, number one, is networking, number two, mentorship, and really staying abreast of what is going on. We're really at a pivotal time in dentistry where things are changing from really sole practitioners and small group practices to maybe DSOs. So it's really good to kind of know where dentistry is heading and how it's going to affect us.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true, and I think the networking piece was something that came out too yesterday, and that everybody kind of wanted people to connect with one another, and it helps not only to navigate problems, but my understanding was it also helps with referrals for business, right? Something that folks talked about was, we're not always invited to the golf course, so maybe there are other avenues. And I know that Dr. Jackson and yourself have a networking opportunity here in New York. Is that right?
Yes, we have a group called Women to Women Dentists Network, and it is a networking group. We have very fun social events or things related more to practice management rather than clinical dentistry. And again, I really have to mention Dr. Lois Jackson because she brought together such a great group of people, including Dr. Maxine Feinberg, who said, you know what, once you're at the penthouse, you take the elevator back down and you bring people up with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an important part of mentorship. Not only do you look to be mentored, once it's your turn, you make sure to mentor other people. Now, our networking group and Henry Schein has really helped so much with our group, and obviously this leadership conference has really brought together women that maybe have not otherwise met each other, and we provide an atmosphere where people can really talk to each other and get to know each other. And we've done some really fun events. We did a private jewelry event at Tiffany's, private shopping at Louis Vuitton, and right now I'm only thinking about shopping events, but we've done other worthwhile things as well.
Other events as well. Yeah, and I'm sure, and I think that resonates with the crowd. And I think I loved. It was a really fun event, right? You had some dance breaks in there. People were really into it. And the last one of the last speakers was on leadership, and she talked about, what is the weather of your leadership like? So what is the weather that other people feel when you're a leader? So I'll say for me, I was really taken by that. I had to think about it for a minute. What is the weather of my leadership? And it tends to be a little bit windy. If you're with me, you get kind of caught in with me because I'm passionate about what I do. So, and I know a lot of women in the room felt that way. What is the weather of your leadership?
And I thought this was such a difficult concept for me. When I really thought about it, what my weather is, I had trouble with this question. I'd like to say my weather is sunny. You know what? When things go well, I'm a very sunny person. But if things don't go my way, things start to get a little cloudy and then kind of spin off. So to me, frankly, it was a very hard concept, and it's something I'm still thinking about.
Yeah, and I think, it's because women don't often think about leadership and leadership styles, and so that was so provocative for so many in the room to be able to think about what their leadership style is, what do they bring to their practices, and what do they bring to the table when they are in organized dentistry. So I love that, we all kind of had to take a step back and think about what's our leadership style. And, the folks in the room at the end of the session, we asked them if they wanted to do this again next year. And it was kind of a resounding yes. So how did that feel to you? And tell me what you're looking forward to.
Oh, I mean, the feedback from this was tremendous. I mean, first of all, this is our first year doing this, so there were so many challenges along the way. We were worried we wouldn't be able to raise enough money to put on the program, that we were worried that no one would show up other than the speakers, and we put together such an impressive list of people. We had Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, Congresswoman Grace Meng, and just really leaders in dentistry and in business. But
there was a general there too, right? That she was.
She wasn't a general. She's a colonel. Yes.
In the dental corps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Colonel. I don't know which goes first. Dr. Colonel Teresa Gonzalez.
A lot of ranks for her.
Yes, and who was absolutely
fantastic.
Really, really amazing message.
Yeah.
But the feedback from this was so positive. Women were asking me like, "Hey, when are you doing this again? And where can I go if I want to, get more of this?" One of these things is our Women to Women Dentist Network, I think, can provide some of the gaps in between, and we definitely plan to do this next year.
That's great. And when you do that, Henry Schein's Women's Leadership Network will be there to help support you along the way. Thank you so much for doing this with us today.
Thank you.
And I want to thank our viewers for tuning into Schein Chat. We'll see you next time.